Hello everyone, welcome back! This is Building Big with City Skylines, episode 55. I'm Enigmaeus, and today we've made some progress, and it's unfolding before our very eyes. And by unfolding, I mean unraveling. It's actually not that bad. You'll notice our Mickey Mouse district has mostly resolved its issue of not having enough workers. It's, you can see we've got, this guy was just recently abandoned like a second or two ago, and then we've got these two guys that will be abandoned very shortly. We have residential that's still expanding that will likely fill the gap for these three guys and get them back up and running, but compared to how it was, this is like almost perfect. This is the big deal, but we had to do some crazy things to make it happen. Over here, still the same thing. This is the district that's supposed to be manufacturing things out of things, and it says it doesn't have enough things to make things, so everyone just leaves. And I've kind of set it aside in terms of things that are priorities for me to deal with. This isn't it. This isn't it. We're gonna get everything else, the base stuff up and running, and then we'll worry about this and getting it enough materials to do the things that it's supposed to be doing. The same is largely true for the city proper, I guess you could say, but even still, our issue with not having enough goods in the commercial districts has been largely resolved as well. We've only got 4 abandoned buildings and a couple of warning icons, and that's it. So we're doing not too bad over there. Over here, we've made some more changes. This district here, this forestry district, became a Mickey Mouse district. We would put another smiley on this side, but there's not quite enough room, and the train station is in the way. And then, of course, we placed this before we had the smileys, so we never really thought about leaving room on the riverside. So that's about as big as this guy's going to be able to get. And you can see we've kind of gutted this guy. I've left the service buildings, so that we can just move them later on, as opposed to bulldozing them and then having to buy brand new ones. We will be using all of these buildings at some point, so they're just disabled, so they aren't costing me anything to keep. And they're just sitting over here doing the dormant thing. And you'll notice this area too is much better off than it was previously in terms of businesses that have enough people. These two guys are abandoned. We've got some abandoned. We've got some here saying they don't have enough goods to make things. And we've got some down here that are having some issues. Again, compared to what it was, this is not bad, and a lot of these will rectify themselves once we get, we're going to be making another asset that we'll probably unveil in the next episode, so that we can expand districts like this and make them as large as we need to be. When you look at how much space you need for the residential just to keep the industrial going, it's kind of ludicrous. And by looking at it from this angle also, you can see, where we probably couldn't see it before, that half of the buildings that are having problems with commercial, they're not even the industrial that we're worried about. So we're focused on expanding the residential so that we can meet the need for the workers, but we had to make some changes. I mentioned that earlier on. We made some pretty radical changes. The first thing we did, come into a district like this and bulldoze the elementary school. Get rid of it. That's the only service building related to education in any of these districts was an elementary school. We didn't place any high schools, and we certainly haven't placed any universities in the districts. We have high schools and universities in the city proper, and as a result of that, we ended up with a lot of overeducated people in districts that technically shouldn't have been able to get an education from where they were. What are you going to do? Well, what we do is we bulldoze the elementary school, and then we de-zone all of the residential, so all of the educated people are kicked out. They're gone. Bye. And then we rezone all of the residential, and it comes in not quite so well educated. If we can take a look down here, we'll just pick this guy. Not the best, not the best building to pick. Let's try this one. 3 adults, 1 senior, 2 educated, 1 well-educated, 3 highly educated. That's not exactly what we were looking for. This is the one that we just looked at, I think. What about this one over here? This one doesn't have anybody living in it. That would probably explain why these industrial places don't actually have any workers. It's because they're all kinds of houses where nobody lives. The hell's going on here? And it's still overeducated. But despite the fact that the things that I'm clicking on aren't supporting what I'm saying, the police station is doing a brisk business. All these people claim, there we go, there's an example, 2 uneducated because the children, I think, one educated teen and two highly educated adults. As they grow up, apparently they get more educated, and the only way to really stop them from leaving and wanting to go work in an office building is to not allow them to grow beyond the age of 9. We'll just send them to the sawmill at 9 years old and not allow them exposure to anything else. Here we've got 4 educated, 4 well, 2 high, so we're kind of shifting a little bit lower, but the point being, we got rid of a bunch of the old guard that just didn't want to work in places like this at all, and now we've got it to the point where most of the allocated space for the industry is actually seeing use. You can see down here we had 5 buildings when we started looking over here that were problematic. Now we've got 2 that don't have enough workers and 1 that's abandoned. So it's shifting around a little bit in our favor, finally, for once. And even over here, the commercial buildings are kind of correcting themselves. Now we're down to 1 that's abandoned and none of the others are having any problems. See, it makes a liar out of me, and I have to sit here and look at it for 2 or 3 minutes before it actually shifts to what it was doing before I started recording. That's how it likes to do me. What a game. What a game. So, I mentioned in the last episode that we were going to be posting some assets for you guys if you wanted to download them from the Steam Workshop and use the exact assets that I've been using with a bonus, a bit of a bonus. There's a 3rd district asset that I made but haven't used yet, and that will be included in the list of the different stamps, the different assets that you can download, as well as the Smiley download for the extension to the districts. And while we're here, let's take a look at... There we go. So it's got a lot more density in the outer areas than the other ones. We'll just switch it to the zone view so that you can see. It's a little bit lower density around this kind of weird part here, but these areas around here, pretty reasonable amount of zoning ability for this district. These are highway on-ramps and off-ramps used to get from the outer ring to the central ring and kind of have the go-around roundabout kind of thing without any intersections. I couldn't think of the word for a second. Without any intersections to just go around, and it's all wobbly and warped looking because of all the connections. This was a nearly perfect circle when I started, but by the time you get done making all these connections, it deforms, so it kind of has that warped, kind of crinkled look to it, which is, I mean, it's not horrible, I guess. You could say that it's an aesthetic, or you can say it just deformed, because that's the way it works. So this will be included in the list of assets that you'll be able to download for your districts, and we'll start using this the next time we place a district. We'll use this one. Just a little bit of variety, and also I like the density of the zoning in this one compared to the second one that we started using that's a little bit sparse in certain spots. So if you want to be notified when I add the next episode with the new asset to further expand our districts, you can always subscribe to my channel, of course. And you can follow me on social media for notifications. Links for that are in the information box below the video. Leave your comments and feedback. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.